Welcome back to another AZW F1 Clash video, and this week we are talking setups. So you might have seen by the thumbnail already, we're going to be having a look at what you should be using as a preference in your car setup. So I know it's been asked a lot of times so far, AZW F1, what should I use? Should I use speed? Should I use cornering? Should I use power unit? That's the big question on everybody's lips so far, and hopefully in this video we can answer the reasons why. So we're at Baku, which is a perfect place to show you why I feel there is a preference to one in particular setup compared to the other ones. Now, while we come round, I want to ask you one question. Think about this and answer it in your head honestly. What part of the track do you overtake cars? Okay, think about that, and then as we come down the straight, watch Lewis Hamilton boost and not really catch the opponent. He catches him at the entry and the exit of the corner. So, as we mentioned, look, Hamilton looking at a move here, and he's always looking for a better overtaking opportunity. Obviously, we've got a few cars here. We're getting a bit stuck and a bit crowded. But I want to ask you again, where do we overtake? And it is through the corners where the overtaking happens. Now, last year, we used boost like dead fast. We could absolutely fly down the straights and just fly past them like their car had broke down. Whereas this year, it's a very different kettle of fish. We all do our overtaking in the pits. We'll boost for the corner and we'll get past hopefully in the corner. We don't, because we can't get past that rival whatsoever. But all our overtaking gets done through corners rather than straights, as Hamilton and De Vries now coming through. And again, tight twisty track of Baku through the middle shouldn't really be much of an overtaking part, but it is. So that's why you need to have a look at changing your strategy. Remember, speed, cornering and reliability form part of your best qualifying position. But what you quickly find is you cap out on the straight. So you've noticed in Baku, look down here, and we'll follow these cars. Are they going to pit in front of us? No. They're on hards, we're on mediums. We're going to boost, and we just cap out. Obviously, we're slower with De Vries in front. Nick De Vries on the hard tyres, so we've got a bit of tyre difference, but we don't launch past like we used to on the game. But look at Hamilton now on the medium boost, starting to overtake cars, and that really points that all our overtaking does not get done on the straights, it gets done through the corners. So you need to balance your setup to be slightly corner dependent, and then you want to be conserving down the straight. So obviously Hamilton coming down now. We'll boost up the De Vries, and we're on medium boost. Can we catch them? Not really. We're just absolutely capped out, not approaching, not gaining anything until the corner. When we get to the corner, we start making a gain. So we'll boost now through the corners with Lewis Hamilton. There's one straight through the corner. We're right behind the rival and the Ferrari now, through the corner again. And that is why having a slightly advantageous cornering, and again, Lewis Hamilton there getting through. Nick De Vries, struggling, look, can't catch that McLaren whatsoever down the straight. And we'll show you here as well. Look at the softs running of Hamilton. And look, it's just capped. We're almost level. We get to a top speed of the car, and then it flattens out completely. You're seeing then, softs were pushing hard, mediums were pushing hard there. And once we got to a top speed, it stopped. So with that in mind, you've got to be looking at a more cornering dominant setup. Obviously, speed is important, power units important, reliability important. But the two greatest things we want to have a look at is speed and cornering. Now, these are the three strategies, setups that I see being used. 1, heavily cornering. These are the players that solely rely and believe that the cornering is the best way to go. Loadout 2 is a more balanced setup. and you can see power unit 134, 146, and it swaps around pretty much very closely on the first setup. Setup 2 obviously was slightly more cornering than speed, but power unit and reliability had pretty much swapped around stats. And then we get setup 3, which is more speed over less cornering. Power unit and reliability, a bit more reliability on there, but you do lose a fair bit of cornering. So this here, setup 2, my speed, cornering, slightly balanced. So look at this setup, it's very balanced. It's got 148 speed, 150 cornering, 146 reliability, slightly down on power unit, but I don't see the massive difference with these power unit reliability stats where, I don't know, 170 gives you 3/4 of a lap more push, for example. It just doesn't seem to be as close. Speed obviously still plays a part on the game where we carry speed through the corners, but for me, take speed out. You don't want that. You want more stats in the cornering. So you can either go one of these two setups. Recommend you test what you have best on your own car, your own series. Go to series 1, put in a fast lap, full boost, see what time your car does. Get the same track again, try the other setup and try the same again. But for me, a real balanced setup does benefit, and this is the setup that I use in GP. So goes for something which is good speed, slightly better cornering, and then power unit and reliability as balanced as you can get. That is the main learning from this video. This is just my advice on what I think is the best going forward for you. Forget speed over cornering. You want to pick cornering slightly over speed. Get that balanced setup, and you two can start winning a lot more duels, and in GP getting a lot more points as well. So I hope that's helped you. Cornering is so OP on this game. Speed, not so much. Go for a bit more cornering and you will benefit so much more.